And now if you go into the edit mode and move these things around, you won't get any uneven or triangulated faces. Hey everyone, welcome to my new video. Today I want to talk about low poly design and how to make it better, because on the outside it might look that low poly design is really simple task to do. Basically you just need to create low detail shapes with those large polygons, slap some lighting and some basic materials on it and you're done. But you might be surprised, and there can be a lot of difference between good and bad low poly design. And with this video I'm trying something new here. I want to introduce a little bit of a different format, occasionally talking about topics and stuff like this, not necessarily a step-by-step tutorials, but a quick tips about Blender, about graphics, about design. So hopefully you will enjoy this one, and if you do, please let me know in the comments if you like this new type of video, this short quick tip format, and if you want to see more like this in the future. Now let's jump into the Blender, and I have this default cube here, so I'll press Ctrl+1 to add a subdivision on it. And for example, let's say I want to create like a low poly rug or something, so this would be my default object to start with. So I would go and probably just apply this modifier and then go and edit the rug, scale it and create like beveled edges or something like that, to give it more character. And this could all look great even in the material preview until you want to render this with cycles. So let's go and enable cycles engine and some denoising, and I will enable rendered preview, and immediately you see these triangles, because if you don't have a flat face, like for example here, you can see this is certainly skewed. If you take these 4 vertices, they're not on the same plane, so there is a distortion between those, so the resulting surface isn't flat. So the renderer will kind of split it into those triangles, and you will get those ugly triangles all over your design. Sometimes you might get lucky and this might look fine, but other times this is just not part of the design. This is not what you're putting your hours into modeling and manually handcrafting those faces and those polygons and those vertices to create those nice stylized low poly shapes. This can really distort your result, and let me show you what I mean on a practical example. And please allow me a little bit of a plug here. If you really want to learn Blender in the most effective way as fast as possible, please check out my courses, the link is in the description. You start with low poly design but progress through more advanced techniques all the way to full characters, hard surface modeling, sculpting. It's all there for you, waiting to get you from where you are to where you want to get. So again, if you're interested, please check out the link in the description. I have this old low poly scene of mine, the Corbin Dallas vehicle from Fifth Element, and again this looks all fine in Eevee because the render engine works in a different way, but the moment I will switch on cycles rendering, you can immediately see those triangles, those split polygons, and you can see how it just distorts the shape and how it looks ugly. There are several ways how to handle this. First of all, when modeling you might want to keep your faces flat as possible, so there are several ways to achieve that. So for example, if I select this, I can use Loop Tools add-on to flatten, and now you will see this face no longer has this problem, but all others around it now have, because those vertices moved around and distorted the other faces around. So this is not a stable solution in any way, and a lot of times you might need to go into your model and do changes or edits, and in that case you might run into an issue like this. So how can we solve this? So as I said, there are probably multiple ways how to adjust your model to make all your faces planar, but it might be time consuming, it might be not optimal for what you want to achieve. So I think there is a better way how to do this. With the model you have, which is already distorted and you don't want to move your vertices at all, we can just take advantage of smoothing and Blender modifiers. So first method I found that works nicely is the edge split modifier. So if you create an edge split like here, and then right click and shade smooth, and of course reduce the angle to keep all the polygons, you will see you have a nice result now. So no matter where I move this, it will appear flat in cycles from all the angles. So yeah, this is the one way you can deal with this. But the edge split modifier basically separates the geometry underneath, which might not be optimal if, for example, you are working with geometry nodes and you want to achieve something. It will basically break apart your model. So I generally, for some reason, I don't like this approach. And the other method that solves this problem is adding weighted normal modifier. So if I just go here and add weighted normal, you can see this is now all shaded smooth, but we can enable keep sharp. And since this is shaded flat, this will make all of these edges sharp and we get rid of the problem. And now if you go into the edit mode and move these things around, you won't get any uneven or triangulated faces. Even though from this side you can clearly see that this face is messed up, but in rendered view it looks nice and flat. So this is probably the most simple version and it doesn't break your geometry inside, same as the edge split modifier. And if you want to assert some manual control over this, you still have that option, because if I now shade this smooth, you will see we're back in the smooth shading, and now the keep sharp doesn't work, so I need to create some sharp edges manually. So you can just go into the edit mode and, for example, select some of these edges, press Ctrl E and mark sharp. And let me mark the whole thing here, and you will see now this is marked sharp and the inside is nice, smooth and flat. So basically you can just mark all of the edges sharp and get the same result as before, though it is a little bit redundant because you always would need to have all your edges marked sharp in your edit mode. And if you just use flat shading with weighted normal, you obviously don't need to do that. But again, if, for example, you would like to connect something, so for example, I can clear this sharp edge and then this all looks flat. So again, this approach offers you a little bit of a manual control if you want to take advantage of it, but you don't need to if you're working with a basic low poly design. So if I now go back in my scene and try to fix this, I can just go ahead and add the weighted normal and enable keep sharp. And now I have the same result as in Eevee, and this looks already much better than if you would have these ugly triangles all over your model. And this can really help you to elevate your design. So for example, let me see this rock here, let me focus on it. Again, you can see the rock has some splits right here and it doesn't look so great. It's kind of all over the place with the design, so I can just go ahead and slap the weighted normal on it and keep sharp, and now this looks much cleaner and I don't have these unwanted face splits there, and this will result in much cleaner and more pleasant to look at low poly design. So yeah, that's it from me today. That's the quick tip and a little bit of a tinkering I did around Blender, and I really hope this will help you with your own designs. And again, if you enjoy this and you want to see more videos like this where I talk about some issues or give quick tips, please let me know in the comment so I know what you like. So again, thank you all for watching and have a wonderful day.